Lafayette County Schools Television presents high school football. Tonight, from Bryan Station Senior High School, it's the Bryan Station Defenders versus the Lafayette Generals. Your announcers for the game, Dick Simpson and Stan Lovett. Welcome to R.L. Grider Stadium on the campus of Bryan Station Senior High School. I'm Dick Simpson along with Stan Lovett, and tonight we present the third district game of the year on our continuing coverage of high school football. Tonight, it's the Bryan Station Defenders taking on the Lafayette Generals. Bryan Station comes into tonight's game with a record of 3-3, while Lafayette comes in with a record of 4-2. However, both teams come in with perfect records in the district. Both are 1-0. Bryan Station defeated Henry Clay earlier in the year, while Lafayette, a couple of weeks ago, knocked off the Tates Creek Commodores. So Stan Lovett, for the first time in about 7 years, both these teams come into this game undefeated in the district, and of course the winner has a great advantage going into the final night of the season to determine their own fate and take home a district championship.
You're exactly right, Dick, as one of these clubs will be 2-0, and the other one will slip to 1-1. And for the first time all fall, Dick, we've got a beautiful autumn evening for football with the coolness in the air, and the fans are all ready. They're cheering and standing over here on the Bryan Station side. The stands are beginning to pack, and so we're going to have an exciting football game, I'm sure, this evening.
Okay. As we mentioned, Bryan Station comes into tonight's game with a record of 3-3. They opened their season with a loss to Greenup County, 13-14. Then they came back with that big win over Henry Clay, 14-0, and followed that with a 13-6 victory over Boone County. Then they went down to Corbin and lost 17-0, and then lost another heartbreaker to Shelby County, 13-14, but bounced back last week with a big victory over Laurel County, 20-6. So they do have momentum coming into this game. Lafayette, on the other hand, has been kind of up and down in the early part of their season, but the last two games they look very good. They opened the season with a 25-6 loss to Boyd County, came back with two straight victories, 14-9 over Shelby County, and the big victory over Corbin, 21-7. They lost to Madison Central, 14-10, but have since come back with two straight victories. The big one over Tates Creek, 16-13, and last week, homecoming, they knocked off Campbell County in rather convincing fashion, 28-8. I think two factors could play very heavily in this game. I think it could be another defensive struggle as it was last year, and I think the kicking game could come into play here. Lafayette probably has the best kicking tandem in the city this year in Tim Chesney and Jeff Neal. So we'll have to wait and see how the game develops. First half kickoff ready to get started, and to take you through the first half, Stan Lovett.
Okay, Dick, and we're all set as Lafayette will kick off to Bryan Station right to left. Denny Serbaugh comes and kicks the football. That will be played by Bryan Station, as picking the football up is Steve Siren. He's knocked down at about the, let's place the line of scrimmage, at the 40-yard line in Bryan Station territory, as he did sort of shank that one, Dick. I'm not sure whether he did it on purpose, not to get it to the deep people, but it's in good field position for Bryan Station.
Well, they used that strategy last week against Tates Creek, and like Tates Creek, Bryan Station has some very dangerous return people that can spring the long return. So once again, Tom Fee using the squibber to negate big runs by the return team, and it worked very well last week against, or a couple of weeks ago, against Tates Creek.
Dick, we're seeing a new quarterback. Craig Brooks will quarterback Bryan Station, as he, as the quarterback, gives off to Harden, his fullback, and he's banged as he hits that stem done, as he is hit at the line of scrimmage for absolutely no gain. Getting off the stack for the Lafayette Generals is their fine middle guard, Andy Bischoff, among others. So place the football. He did pick up 1 yard, make it second down and about 8. With 11-13, we're just underway here at Grider Stadium. Lining up at the center position is Chris Holler, as they will bring Harden wide to this side, slotting over here with a I formation, as Brooks will call his signals. A little bit more speed. They go to Dishman, trying to find running room, does a little bit, comes up for 5 or 6 yards as he ran past the left tackle and picked up. William Dishman, Dick, of course, is very elusive. Knocked down by, looks like Cox on that side, among others for Lafayette. So call it third down and about 3 yards to go. The ball will be placed on Bryan Station's 47-yard line, hash marked toward Lafayette.
William Dishman comes into this game, Stan, the leading rusher in the city, rushing for over 900 yards, 927 coming into this game. Only needs 73 yards to crack the 1,000-yard mark for the first time in his career.
Bryan Station split T in the backfield with Harden wide to this side. They go to Dishman trying to find running room, does, as he tracks up past the line of scrimmage, gets his first down as he crashes up to the 45-yard line in Lafayette territory, where he's knocked down by Dan Houlihan and the second host of the Generals in the defensive backfield. So Bryan Station keeping on the ground, showing good yardage on the ground, right tackle, left tackle, picked up a first down.
Last time we saw William Dishman was about 6 weeks ago against Henry Clay, and in that game rushed for nearly 280 yards in one of the best games we've ever seen by a tailback.
Kevin Jackson wide to that side. They go back to Dishman as he's running past McDowell of the Bryan Station defenders, and he comes crashing up for another 3 or 4 yards as they're keeping the football on the ground, knocked down by Lafayette's interior line led by Mark Elliott.
And there's a flag on the play, and it looks like it could go against the Generals. I'm not really sure what the call is. There's several flags down on the field. A couple of Lafayette players looked upset. Good offensive blocking by the left side of the Bryan Station line that time. On the left side, James McDowell and Derek Thomas leading the way. A new quarterback, Craig Brooks, starting tonight's game, replacing Bryan Station's regular quarterback, Frank Durham, who has started a majority of the season. Craig Brooks, a fine athlete, has played defensive end most of the year. But at the beginning of this season, the coaching staff were having thoughts of starting Brooks as a quarterback, and he is doing it tonight. A little surprise thrown in here by Steve Parker in this big intra-city game. And the winner, of course, as we mentioned in the opening, a leg up on the district race, a great advantage going into the final district game of the year at the end of October. So it will go against the Bryan Station defenders, and I believe it could be unsportsmanlike conduct against Bryan Station. So there must have been something after the play, 15 yards, and there was unsportsmanlike on both sides, Stan. So I think a little skirmish going on between the players after that play, and it will negate each other, I do believe, and we'll do it over.
So they'll bring it right back. It looks like it's going to be about second down and roughly 6 yards, maybe 5 yards. We'll wait till they bring the sticks out. It's more or less like 6 yards left to go. Second and call it 6 yards. The ball will be placed on the 41-yard line in Lafayette territory.
So what happened, the penalty was called after the play, so the gain by Dishman of about 4 yards is good. And then the penalty occurred. So it's second down and 6, Bryan Station.
Bryan Station likes to put a lot of wideouts. We'll see a lot of the different people at wideout. This time we get Jeff Harden as Brooks runs to his wide side. That's one of the reasons they like, because he's got a lot of speed. And he does pick up 2 or 3 yards, but great pursuit by Lafayette as they knock him down after he picks up a couple of yards.
Brian Sonka, number 39 over there from his linebacker position, along with number 9, Vic Johnson, coming up from his defensive safety position. As I said, Stan, defense last year played a major part in this game. Lafayette won a defensive ball game 9-0. In that game, Bryan Station only accumulated 50 yards in total offense. And William Dishman was held to only 33 yards in that game.
Tommy Passafume lines up this side as Brooks will call his play, looking at the 5-man defensive front, gives it off inside. Beautiful running by inside. That's Tim Dunn, and Dunn runs over his right tackle, which is McDowell, along with Jonathan Cole, and he picks up good yardage. It's going to be a first down, Bryan Station. Put it first down on Bryan Station, or in Lafayette territory, on the 32-yard line. First and 10, Bryan Station. Very good ground attack so far.
That's right, Stan. Whoever controls the line of scrimmage usually comes out on top of these games, and right now Bryan Station's offensive line doing a very good job.
Power offense, split T in the backfield, hard and wide to this side. They give it off to Dishman, and he picks up about 2 or 3 yards again as he comes cracking up. Looks like he picks up about 3 or 4 yards. It's going to be about second down and roughly 6 yards left to go.
Both teams are both running ball clubs. They will not put it up very often. A couple of weeks ago, Billy Martin, quarterback for Lafayette, did not attempt one single pass. And Craig Brooks, we have not seen this year. We do not know what kind of arm he has, but we expect Bryan Station with Dishman in the backfield to keep it on the ground.
Here's Brooks. As he looks over, almost in motion, they bring Dishman wide to this side. Brooks will run to this side with a power-up sweep. Getting good blocking from the Bryan Station front line, and he cracks up past the 25-yard line where Barossi comes up and knocks him out. But beautiful, beautiful running by Craig Brooks.
Got a power sweep over there. He had Tim Dunn out in front of him. He had Dishman out there blocking. Good yardage by Bryan Station. Another first down. Ball's inside the 20 at the 19. David Vorosik with the hit. Bryan Station moving very well here on the opening drive. They've already taken up 5 minutes on the clock.
Sterling Ward is in the football game. He's a slot to that side as Jeff Harden is way wide to the left side. I formation as Brooks calls, gets off to Dishman, finding running room very tough in there as Lafayette strengthens and comes up to stop him. Very good pursuit in there as Lafayette met the charge at about the line of scrimmage.
Where he was met, I believe, by number 58, Andy Bischoff. Stopped Dishman cold in his tracks after he picked up about 3. Good hit by, I believe, Bischoff on that play.
But again, he picked up more than I thought, Dick. They're going to give him 2 yards as his forward progress pushed the football up to the 17-yard line where Bryan Station has not put the football up. It's all power so far as they swing a wide out way out there. And Craig Brooks will call against the 6-man defensive front. Here we go to Dishman, finding running room as he comes up to the 10-yard line where he's knocked down by Lafayette secondary. But William Dishman finding running room, Dick, as they're following great line blocking by the Bryan Station interior front wall.
The hit was made by Dan Houlihan, but that's right. The offensive line of Bryan Station, Derek Thomas over there, number 58 on the right side, opening things up. Also on the left side, James McDowell's done a good job. The center, Chris Heiler, one of the best in town this year, getting good offensive blocking from the offensive line.
Really pushing off the football. Again, power eye as they go to Sterling. This is number 22, Ward, and Ward comes up near the goal line. Beautiful running by Sterling Ward. Almost made it in. He's going to be a bit shy. It looks like he's around the 2 or 3 yard line. We'll wait to the sticks to see where they put it down. But beautiful running by Ward as he puts it in deep in Lafayette territory. They're going to put it on the 5-yard line.
And it's first and goal. Another first down for the Generals. Good running by Sterling Ward. Running off the left side behind James McDowell. And Bryan Station looking very strong here in their opening drive.
They got Ward, they got Dunn, they got Dishman in the backfield. Ward to this side as they give it off to the big power man. I believe that is the fullback, which is Dunn, and Dunn carries past the 5, inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line, where he's knocked down by inside tackling by Dan Houlihan. But they, each time, Dick, are charging off that football, picking up valuable real estate right now in Lafayette territory.
Well, 5.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. The drive is going on 7 minutes, and it's been all on the ground.
This time they break the T formation with Ward, Sterling Ward, slots inside the tight end, and they jump as it looked like Davis jumped from the right side, so that'll cost them 5 yards.
Stan, this has been Bryan Station's problem the last 2 or 3 years. They get it inside the 10, inside the 5, and then they just seem to fall apart. It really hurt them last year and the year before. This year they've done a little bit better job, but it seems like once they get near the opponent's goal line, they seem to lose a little bit of their poise. And it's been plays like that, jumping off sides, little things that can really take the momentum out of a drive.
Well,
but they still got a good opportunity here. Second down and goal from the 7.
They had it second down and about 2, so now they got it, as you say, Dick, second down and 7, so that was a big break.
Let's take a timeout on the field in the opening quarter with the score, Bryan Station nothing, Lafayette nothing. 4 minutes and 58 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. The officials calling tonight's game. The referee is Ken Tate. The umpire is John Vandermeer. The head linesman, Joby Gastineau. The field judge is Jim Brenham. And the back judge is Grant Satterley. Bryan Station, if you just tuned in, has taken the opening kickoff and driven down to the Lafayette 7-yard line, where they face a second down and 7. 4 minutes and 58 seconds. They have taken up 7 minutes off the clock, all on the ground, behind good, effective line play and the running of William Dishman. Second and goal from the 7. Bryan Station looking to get a score, and it's always important to get the first score in a big game like this.
Okay, we're ready to go. Sterling Ward is one of the halfbacks in the power T, or power I this time. They've been going to a T. Now they do switch back to a T formation. Power football, trying to drive it over the Lafayette defense as Dishman will roll to this side. Here we come with Brooks running behind Dunn. Will he make it? Yes, sir. Give him 6. That is Craig Brooks, ladies and gentlemen. Touchdown, Bryan Station.
Stand, very good run, heady run by Craig Brooks. Tim Dunn and number 50 for Bryan Station, James McDowell, made a good block on a Lafayette flare. Brooks saw it, cut back upfield and into the end zone for a touchdown from 7 yards out, Craig Brooks.
Well, Dick, the first score is always a great one, and when you can put one up as impressive as this drive has been, that's got to give Bryan Station a big lift.
Plus, it also has to give the team confidence scoring down there from their old goal line without making a mistake.
Ball is kicked by Michael Dunn, and the kick is good. So with 4 minutes, 53 seconds left to go in our first quarter, our score here at Griner Stadium is Bryan Station 7 and the Lafayette Generals nothing.
And that was a big extra point by Mike Dunn. Mike Dunn, just a sophomore, has an excellent future, I believe, out here at Bryan Station as a punter and a kicker. But the kicking game has really hurt Bryan Station also in the last couple of years. I think they've lost something like 9 games in the last 2 or 3 years by missed extra points or field goals. So it's really been a big problem for them. Mike Dunn, we saw him last year at Winburn do very well, and I believe he's the kicker in Bryan Station's future. In the last 3 years, Bryan Station has lost 9 games due to missed extra points or field goals. So that is a big one for Bryan Station and for Dunn to give them confidence into this big game.
And Michael Dunn will tow the football up on his 40-yard line with 4:53 left to go. First quarter, Dunn will kick to Johnson, is a deep middleman flanked by Marcus Hill and Robinson. So here we go as Bryan Station, very impressive on their first drive, knocked Lafayette off the line of scrimmage, took it in and scored. Here the ball will come back to Robinson, runs wide to the right side, being chased by Bryan Station's Dunn. Does get away from him, still on his feet, may go. Down to the 50, got a wall there. Can he beat anybody? Yes, sir. Gets past the 40-yard line where he's knocked down by Bryan Station, but what a run by Johnny Robinson.
And the man who saved the big play over there for Bryan Station was number 81, Michael Dunn, the kicker. A great wall set up by Lafayette. Lafayette has some of the best special teams in this city. They know how to spring the big punt return or the big kickoff return. They set a wall on the far side of the field in front of the Lafayette bench, and Johnny Robinson, with great speed, took it all the way down to the Bryan Station 40. If it wasn't for Michael Dunn, he might have gone all the way.
Maurice Mobley in the football game for Bryan Station is playing an inside tackle as we get Lafayette with the football. Here we go to, looks like Cook as he spun around inside and picks up a couple of yards. Give it to Bradford instead of Cook, as Bradford and Cook will be interchanging a great deal in this football game. So Strombert will go out as Lafayette will play with Andy Bischoff over the football. We have Cook, we have Johnson in. The ball is given off as he's banged at the line of scrimmage. Tailback for Lafayette, Antoine George, looks like. So it's going to be third down, 6 yards to go. And Bryan Station playing very stingy as Derek Thomas comes up off the stack. And so it's going to be 3rd and 6, and they've snuffed out Lafayette on the first 2.
You're going to see Derek Thomas in a lot of hits tonight for Bryan Station. All-state candidate from his linebacker position, has perfect size for a linebacker, going 6'2", 215. We'll hear his name called a lot on defense.
Looks like Bradford in the football game as Billy Martin takes too much time, I believe, as he tried to go to Cook.
That's the call. Delay a game against Lafayette. We'll bring it back 5 yards, make it 3rd down and 11.
So that's a big mistake for Lafayette as they took too much time, and Bryan Station playing very inspired now, both offensively and defensively, Dick, as they have met so far the challenge. Even after that big kickoff return, they have been able to stop Lafayette on their first 2 tries.
Well, in their first district game win over Henry Clay, their defense really rose to the occasion, shut down everything Henry Clay had to try, and Henry Clay was strictly a ground team like Lafayette, so Bryan Station rising to the occasion, it looks like, here early in this game.
As we go with Billy Martin, as Martin will go back to throw. Craig Brooks wants him, though. Here's the ball thrown out here. Almost caught, but it's incomplete. Just a little bit shy, as he had Tom Passafume all over him as he blitzed from that corner spot. Trying to go to Johnny Robinson, but just couldn't quite get there, Dick.
Tom Fade said that he was working on the passing game this week to try to mix it up a little bit. Been relying mainly on the ground this year. Billy Martin does not have a bad arm back there at the quarterback slot. But Bryan Station's defense held after that big kickoff return by Johnny Robinson. Now we have one of the best punters in the city in Jeff Neal back in punt formation.
Jeff Neal stands, and they might have taken too much time on that one, as we're going to wait and see. It's either that or it's offsides or illegal procedure they're going to call as Lafayette lined up and then moved, and so that's going to cost them another 5. So down deep for Bryan Station is a very good punt returner. That's Charles Green, and Green can take it all the way along with Clifton Davis. Davis is the up back. Green is standing on his 10-yard line.
Stan, as you mentioned, perfect football weather tonight here in the first game in October weather, and good crowd on hand.
Jeff Neal will punt from his 40. An excellent kicker as they will down the football as Davis takes it and downs it at the 20-yard line, where Bryan Station will go to war at that point. Bryan Station took the opening kickoff and marched all the way down and scored, and Lafayette brought the kickoff back, was unable to punch out a first down, so now Bryan Station will see if they can do it again as they line the football up on the 20, make it the 19-yard line, where it'll be first down, 10 yards to go.
Stan, in that game last year, as I mentioned earlier, Bryan Station's offense turned out only 57 yards. They made 60 yards on their opening drive of this game.
This will be Brooks giving to Dunn in motion. Flags all over the place. Look like they might have left home too soon, but we'll wait and see.
Flags all over the field. But Stan, the coaches from Bryan Station had used last year's game as a motivating factor for this year's game. I was talking to assistant coach Mike Meehan, and he said last year's game against Lafayette was the worst offensive showing he has ever seen during his tenure at Bryan Station. He's been there 16 years. And they've been using that this week as trying to get the team pumped up for Lafayette. As we mentioned, William Dishman was held to only 33 yards in that game. I don't believe he's been held to under 100 yards since that game. He's over 100 yards in every game he's played this year. But Lafayette completely controlled things last year in a 9-0 victory. But Bryan Station made up all that yardage on their first drive, which went 60 yards.
And I'll tell you what, Dick, Bryan Station playing very well in the district this year, looking very impressive. Their opening game was a beautiful display of football, and we're seeing the same thing tonight. This time Dishman does not get a whole lot as the Lafayette defense really stiffens up inside about the 15-yard line. It's going to be right back at he might have picked up a yard, call it second down at about 14.
Meeting him just as he crossed the line of scrimmage was number 39, Brian Sonka, number 90, Jesse Bradford, who's in on defense on that play from the defensive end position. Bradford started the year at defensive end. Gain of 2 by Dishman.
All right, here we go. Back to the power of football again as Craig Brooks will call and give it to Dishman, and he'll run wide to this side, finding running room as he comes up to the 25-yard line. where he will be just a bit shy. We'll wait and see where they place the football. He's going to be right at the sticks. I believe he may be a little bit shy, but we'll wait and see. 2 minutes left to go, first quarter.
Stan, I believe he's going to be about 4 yards shy of a first down, but good running, good hole opened up on the right side. Vic Johnson brought him down, but William Dishman getting off to a fine start against a team from Lafayette that has played excellent defense all year.
Tom Passafume is a wide out to that side as they split the T formation now and send a slot almost offside Bryan Station. They give it back here to Dishman, and Dishman is going to be nailed by Devney as he came in from that right end spot and held Dishman to no yardage gain. Might have lost a yard or two.
Nobody touched John Devney, and William Dishman never had a chance. Devney met him just about the time he got the football, and Lafayette holds, and now Michael Dunn back in punt formation for Bryan Station.
And the elusive Vic Johnson will handle the football. He will have great field position, as Dunn will have to kick at the 10-yard line, so Dunn calls the snap. Here we go. Dunn booms it away. It's going to be short. Will Johnson watch? He'll watch it roll, and it's going to take a good Bryan Station roll and bounce out of bounds at the 30-yard line, where Lafayette will play it inside their 30-yard line, first down and 10 yards to go. Beautiful punting by Dunn, Dick, as he needed that one, and he came up with a dandy.
Stan, an excellent punt by Dunn, traveled 45 yards, puts Lafayette at their own 31, try to get this offense cranked up a bit. Bryan Station really shut them down on their first offensive possession. Vic Johnson is out of the game, coming out with just under a minute to play here in the opening quarter.
Thomas Higgins, Ton Snyder, Andy Bischoff, Sonny Mills, and looks like John Cox in there as they go with Doug Cook. As Billy Martin will call the signals and give off to Cook, and he's going to be knocked down by Craig Brooks, as Brooks would not be denied, and he came up, made a beautiful play, but we got flags on the play against somebody.
And could be against Lafayette.
It looked like they might have moved just a little bit too soon. We'll wait and see, though.
I do not believe a flag was dropped.
I thought I saw a flag, Dick, but evidently not. Okay, no flag, call it back, and so it'll be second down and 11 yards to go. But what a play by Brooks, Dick, as he shut the gap and made the big play. Lafayette unable to move the football so far against Bryan Station's stingy defense. 11 seconds left to go, first quarter, as Billy Martin will shade back in the pocket to look. Long, long throw. Can they get to him? This is Johnson. Can't do it. Beautiful defense by Charles Green of the defenders. 1 second left to go, first quarter, as that will play one more play at the end and end this one up. But Billy Martin showed us that he can string that ball a long way, Dick.
Has a good arm. He proved it right there. Johnson had to wait on the ball a little bit, Stan, even though Green was stride for stride with him. Had to wait on a little bit, and then it was a jumping contest. Both missed it, but Martin threw it a long way.
I thought he might come back there, Dick, and catch it because he was in good position. He saw he was going to be underthrown and then ran back there and almost had a shot at catching the football. This should be the last play. It is. That's the end of it. As Cook will run. This is Bradford, rather. He's knocked down. Beautiful tackling by Sterling Ward, among others. That's it.
I believe
that's the end of the first quarter with our score here at Bryan Station. Bryan Station 7, Lafayette nothing.